And so George from Plainfield, Illinois, asks, Peter, can you compare retail shopping on all islands of Hawaii versus the mainland for groceries and other shopping needs? Thank you. So let's this is a great kind of a statewide question. So tell us about what are the Heidi, let's start with you. What are what would you call the major shopping areas on Maui where one might go depending on where you live?
Well, it depends what you're shopping for. We do have some nice grocery stores over here. We have Safeway, Foodland, Whole Foods is over in Ka'alui, but on the west side we have a big Safeway and Foodland and some smaller grocery stores. Compared to the suburbs of Chicago, not every grocery store is gonna be as big and have the biggest selection, but we do have some big stores that they do pretty much have everything that you would expect to find. And then some of the smaller neighborhood stores, I notice, sometimes I go in there shopping I have an idea in mind of what I want to make for dinner, and they might be out of one thing or something, but that's more of the smaller neighborhood stores. The big stores are great and really nice. And then as far as other shopping, if you're looking for a swimsuit or board shorts or beachwear, greatest selection ever over here. In general, I mean, other clothes shopping and things like that, it's just not as big of a market as somewhere like Chicago or, I mean, a bigger city on the mainland.
So Heidi, where are the major where would you categorize the sort of the major shopping districts on Maui? What would you how would you characterize them or call them? There's, for example, there's like Lahaina, there's Kahului, which is the main sort of town. Where are the other major shopping areas in Maui?
Well, Ka'alui is where you'll find all the big box stores like Costco, Target, Home Depot. You have the mall over there. In Wailea, there's a really nice mall, kind of a high-end shopping center, great for art, clothes, things like that. And then in West Maui, in Kaanapali, there's Whalers Village, which is also a nice shopping center. It tends to cater more towards the visitor crowd. But yeah, those would be the three main areas for shopping.
Great.
And there's some nice specialty stores too, and art galleries, and just, I mean, unique things.
Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. Dylan, what are the major shopping areas that one would go to on the Big Island?
Yeah, this is an important consideration depending on where you want to buy and where you want to live, because the main shopping hubs are Kailua Kona on the west side and Hilo on the east side. And you can easily be an hour and a half away from either of those. So if getting to the big box stores, there is only one Costco on the island on the west side. So if you live, the further you get away from that, the further you are from Costco, if Costco is important. But, the other areas of the island are somewhat rural and don't have as much as they used to. And over the years, we've seen, the little grocery stores shut down because just the population isn't there to support it and people are willing to make the drive. So you really got to consider that in, where you're looking to buy. If you're looking to buy, is how important is it to get to Target and to Walmart and Costco? Because it can be quite a drive if you're in certain areas of the island.
I'm so glad you brought that up. And this is what I love about our group over here, because there's the diversity based on the differences of the island. So the big consideration on the Big Island is that you may have a distance issue. You may have a huge distance issue where you got to drive for an hour or more to get to a shopping area to get the stuff other than the most basic fundamentals that you might find at the corner grocery store, if there is any.
Yeah, and even in the rural areas with a smaller grocery store, I mean, you have the necessities there, but you're paying, a premium for milk and meat,
right,
and, vegetables. I mean, you can still get like maybe box stuff, non-perishable stuff for a similar price. But anything that's perishable, because of the cost to ship it out there, and they don't hold as much inventory because it's in a smaller rural area, you're definitely paying a premium for those items.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting consideration. And to a much lesser degree, Maui's got these patches, whereas like on Oahu, it's like everyone's, there's shopping districts everywhere. Scott, rattle off the big shopping districts that people can choose from on Oahu.
Everywhere. I mean, Kapolei, Second City, they got every box store. You go up, over Waipio, you've got Costco and a whole bunch of grocery stores and things there. You have Pearl Ridge Mall. That whole industrial section around there has everything you need. You come in town, Honolulu, you definitely have everything you need. Even Kailua has Target, Whole Foods. Those are two big anchors, Foodlands over there. Not to mention just regular shopping. Even Hawaii Kai, it's got its own little environment over there. It has Costco, has Safeway right there. So it's not hard here on Oahu. You pretty much have it everywhere.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, the interesting thing for me that I've found, and I paid attention to this, and I'm actually going to I'm doing a kind of a blog post on this that I'm going to launch soon, is I've found I have a very specific pattern on how I buy my groceries here, because for certain things like milk and eggs, I go to Costco. It's cheap, so much cheaper than anywhere else. If I go to Times or Foodland, for one, having the discount cards at the grocery stores is key. You get big discounts. I don't know what it is with the Hawaii grocers here, but for example, if I go into Times and I want to buy peppers, they're $5.99 a pound. I go to Whole Foods, they have them at $3.99 a pound now. And last week they had them on sale for $1.99 a pound. I mean, that's an insane price range. And you find that all the time, even with the breads. I'll go to Times for the bread and it'll be like $6 for a loaf. You can buy 2 loaves at Costco for the same price. So there's like this weird matrix and method to the madness that you end up getting with your groceries. And I have this specific thing. I know where this one's going to be on sale for this time and this one over here. I have a hard time paying double for something if it's going to be on sale somewhere else.
We need to have Scott's red bell pepper prices blog to tell us kind of where to go get those best deals. I think that's the interesting part. I mean, yeah, Scott, I mean, Oahu's got shopping kind of everywhere. The only place where it kind of thins out, right, is in the north area. I mean, Haleiwa it's certainly a shopping area, but once you get past, like, I would say if you go from like, let's say from Sunset Beach all the way to Polynesian Cultural Center, that kind of bend. Yeah. Yep. Even there's still some shopping, but it's not quite, clearly not as predominant as Oahu is. Great. Excellent. And I was, as you were talking, Scott, about those discounts cards. Yeah. Loop's got it. Yeah. I've applied for discount cards. Yeah. It's sort of like a given. You got to have those cards. You got to have your Safeway card. You got to have your Foodland card. Foodland is the local grocery chain. That's like a basically a must. Let's see here. We got Joyce. Thanks for chiming in, Joyce. Joyce says they just opened a super Safeway in Kailua Kona, Target, Costco, but don't expect to find Apple, Whole Foods, Best Buy, etc. The major shopping would mean to go to Oahu. That's right. And of course, you got Amazon. So who cares anymore, right? It's like you just get it from Amazon. It's easier to get it from Amazon than to drive 15 minutes to go and pick it up. We have.
Wait till Amazon builds that distribution center out by the airport, then that's going to be a game changer out here.
Great point, Scott. So Amazon made a huge purchase on Oahu to have a distribution center. So clearly they did the math. Their AI models have determined that it's going to be financially viable for them to have a distribution center there, which means that stuff's going to get shipped here, much quicker, much faster with Amazon Prime. So great.
We have the Amazon plane coming to the Big Island now, and my wife has had stuff show up within 24 hours. Like she'll order it like Thursday afternoon, and it'll show up Friday, at noon or whatever. It's crazy because it flies in at night, so it usually gets here at like 11. We can see it fly by out in the distance over the horizon going towards the airport. But yeah, they've really made it quick to get stuff out here from Amazon.
It's absolutely remarkable. I can't even imagine. I would love to know what Amazon's numbers look like for Hawaii. I will take a venture to guess that their numbers concentrated per capita, whatever, that Hawaii's got some of the best numbers. I almost will bet on it. Well, look, they bought that. Scott, I don't know how much their property was that they bought on Oahu, but it was in the many millions that they bought to kind of do their warehousing.
Yeah, and part of that methodology is because we're limited on the number of goods and the types of goods and the selection that we have that is shipped out here. So a lot of times we have to go to Amazon for things to be able to get it, to actually get availability here.
That's right. It's not even available. Great.
I wanted
Hey,
to
let's.
mention, too, like there's also a lot of locally grown food and food that you can network with your neighbors and get for free. I mean, a lot of people have chickens, so you can get fresh eggs, avocados, mangoes, because when certain things are in season, I mean, people are pretty much just giving them away. So, and lemons and limes, things like that.
The time-honored tradition of bartering with your neighbors, right? I bring you I bring you mangoes, you bring me lemons. All right. I bring you papayas, you bring me eggs. That's a great island tradition. In fact, a lot of the in during season is if you go to some of the local grocery stores, in particular like Times and Foodland, you will see pick a local picked fruit from people's yards that are sitting for sale over at Foodland, which is always cool. Scott, you're going to add something.
Yeah, one thing we didn't touch about, which we should, is there's plenty of farmers markets here, and supporting local is really important. And you can really get fresh produce at a good price here. Funny story, I was in Times supermarket last week, and there was a crowd hanging out over in this one little section, and they're just standing there. And I asked the lady when I was checking out, I said, "What the heck's going on over there?" She said, "There's a special kind of papaya that only comes out on Wednesdays that they put out on the store." And she says every one of those people was waiting for them, and by the time they put them out, within 5 minutes, every one of those people was going to have grabbed them all. But that goes back to the local produce that we have here, some of the unique stuff.
Yeah, so I'm so glad you brought it up, Scott. Buying local is a really big deal here, and we're trying to kind of encourage it more. There's a lot of calls to kind of produce a lot of our local goods, all kinds of issues about that. But yeah, definitely going on. See, Dylan, now Joyce, Dylan explained the great mystery of why your Amazon Prime stuff gets here so quickly. Now you know why. It's because those Amazon planes are showing up, and great bartering deals in next door. Yeah, definitely.